Hi guys, so it's me, Nicolette Mashile, and today I want to touch a little bit on investment. In actual fact, we got a question today when I was on Ilungelo Lakho on SABC1 that really kind of frightened me, but at the same time I was like, this happens quite often, right? Remember that none of my videos constitute as financial advice. If you are looking for financial advice, please speak to somebody who is certified and registered with the FSCA to give financial advice. So anyway, this morning, I was on Ilungelo Lakho on SABC1 and we got a call that came from Vuyiswa and she said, hi guys, I have this huge amount of money and I'm looking to invest and I don't know where to invest. And you know, her question affirmed one thing for me is that in South Africa currently, we're really encouraging people to go out there and invest their monies. We're saying it's not about you just saving anymore because saving is not going to get you to wealth. You need to invest, you need to grow your money and all these things. But we've never really sat down and said, this is the investment class. These are the things that you need to look at when you're looking to invest. These are the things that you should be investing in. And these are some of the things that you might want to try out if you are investing. And then also, how do you actually invest? Where do you start? Who do you speak to? So because of this, I really want us to go through a proper process in terms of investing. But before I get into that, the reason why I was scared by Vuyisa's question is because I get that question a lot where people will say, I have 20,000 Rand, where should I invest? Or hi Nicolette, I have 200,000 Rand that's going to come out of my pension fund, where should I put it? That is the wrong question. And I'm hoping that from today on, after watching this video, you will restructure that question, because let me tell you one thing. The moment you ask anybody that question, you will always find somebody who's going to have an answer for you. Let me repeat myself there. If you go around saying to people, I have this huge amount of money, I have 20,000 Rand or I have 50,000 Rand that I'd like to invest, where should I invest it? There will always be somebody that is going to have a response for you. And that is the incorrect way in which you start thinking or looking at investments. I believe that if you are looking to invest some of your money or looking to find a place where you can regularly invest, the best way to structure that question is by not actually asking a question, but by saying, this is what I want to do, what I want my money to do, where then should I be investing? You don't need to tell people how much money you have to invest. What you need to do, because the moment we bring in this money thing, it also brings along that elitism that we're trying to fight, right? And also the idea of trying to give this impression that you've got to have a certain amount of money for investments to then be opened up to you. Because investing has different levels. Levels, lanto. If I have boyfriends, when you were 20 years old, obviously you have improved. And even if it's the same person, they've also improved throughout their lives. And when you're at age 30, you're looking at a different type of man that you're dating. You're looking at a different type of woman that you're going to be dating or marrying, right? So even with investment, it's got different levels in which you can invest at. So again, I think it's very important that we stop asking the question that goes along the lines of, I have 100,000 Rand, where should I invest? But rather re-look at the conversation or re-look at the way we structure that question and say, this is what I want my money to do. So therefore, where should I invest it? Because a lot of people, and as I said, if you're going to put out the amount of money, you're going to find somebody who's going to have a solution for you. Then fast forward 5 years later, when they give you the return, you don't like the return. Why? Because you actually didn't tell the person what it is that you wanted your money to do. So it's very, very important that when you're going to be investing, it's you getting back something else, right? Investments make you money in two ways. One, through appreciation. Second one, through income. So you've got investments where you invest and basically the investment will appreciate, and at appreciation value will you get a return. Or you've got an investment that are going to give you an income. For example, a thing like property, you will invest into property, and if you are putting it out for rental, you will get an income back. So that's very, very important. But let's speak a little bit about those tiers of investing, right? Those levels of investing. The first level of investing, what a lot of people think is same as savings, which is not. It's called bank. That's in bank types of investment. So anything that's got to do with a bank Cash investments generally are the first level of investing. So these are fixed deposit accounts, these are money market accounts where you are investing directly with an institution and you can engage directly with your money. So that's your entry level investing, right? And it's important to realize that you don't have to stop at this level, because this level is not the be all and end all of life. There are other tiers in which you can graduate to, right? The second level of investing basically is things like, you know, your low risk type of investment, things like unit trust, things that are a mix where there is a lot of diversification. So your unit trust, your ETFs, your REITs, these are mostly bundled up different portfolios which you can invest in. For instance, if you look at an ETF, it's a list of property equities, but it's different one. Mutual funds will have a whole lot of things that are building up this fund, right? So this is where your diversification kind of kicks in, and kicks in very well, because it's you specifically investing into a mix of things that have been created to make one. I remember I always use the analogy of a fruit salad. If you're eating a fruit salad, it's got different types of fruit that have made up this fruit salad. And that's basically tier 2, is you going into something that is far more diversified and gives you a balanced type of fund in which you can invest in. And mostly investors and wealth managers say it can take up to 10 to 15 years for you to actually start seeing real growth in that tier of investing. So it's also very important to remember that investing is not a short-term goal. It's not money that you need every single day. It's money that you should be willing to put away for a long time, so that it actually appreciates. Whatever it is that you are buying appreciates. But number 2, it also grows in terms of giving you some sort of vest back. Remember, invest, it's getting something back, right? And then tier 3 is you looking at things like structured notes. You're looking at things like individual types of investments that you can go into. So going into shares, getting a shares portfolio. They're a little bit higher risk because you're obviously investing in something, in one thing, right? So it's things like your structured note. A structured note will look like an investment contract that you go out and get with a certain institution where you guys are signing up the terms of that investment up front. You know, with other investments, you generally are going to see what the market will do. And if the market does not grow, then you make a loss. If the market grows, you do well. But it's also dependent on how the market is throughout your investment. Whereas with an investment contract, which is a structured note, you actually agree upon the investment rules and the investment conditions up front. And let's say, for instance, you agree that you're going to get a return of 80% within 3 years. That is the investment that you're going to get within 3 years is 80%, because it's a contract versus a pure investment that we will kind of see what happens when the market matures after 3 years, or when the fund matures after 3 years. So that will be your tier 3, right? And your tier 4 is more the high risk stuff. It's things like getting hedge funds, right? So you're looking at hedge funds. Those are the kind of more higher risk type of investment that you could be looking at too. Tier 2 also, tier 4, sorry. So tier 1 is your fixed deposit money market funds. Tier 2, you're looking at your unit trust, your ETFs, your REITs, real estate mutual funds, real estate investment trusts, your mutual funds. Tier 3, you're looking now at your structured notes, individual shares portfolios, so equity, individual ones. You're looking at going into an actual real property. So it's more of you are deciding on one investment vehicle, and that's the investment vehicle that you are going into. And then your tier 4 is your hedge funds. That's where the big money is, but again, it's where the big risk is. And you know what the saying goes, high risk, high return. But if you are somebody that is trying to find an investment for each phase of your life, it is very, very important that you obviously diversify in terms of these different areas and different levels of investing. You obviously don't want to be, now you've got a family and you've got children and you're taking the entire family's money and you're putting into a hedge fund. What happens if that hedge fund does not work? Now all your money is gone. But if you do have children, you could start them off with a TFSA, a tax-free account. You could start them off with you can buy them each unit trust, and you could donate to their unit trust. You could open a mutual fund for them. You could actually even get them like even livestock at that age, because that's what, we always have this conversation about how black families don't pass on wealth to their children. We do pass on wealth. The problem is that that wealth is not dressed the way we've been told investments are dressed, right? Most of us think that investments is when they give you a trust fund. But when your grandmother passes on a cow to you, when your grandfather gives you some cattle, that is giving you investment, that is giving you wealth, that is passing on wealth. So it's very, very important that we understand that investments, if we're going to take the elitism out of investments, we need to understand what investments actually are. And it's very important that before we even jump into trying to invest in certain things, we have a better understanding of the stage in which we are in our life. If you're a student, it makes sense to get yourself a TFSA because you've got a bit of time and your lifetime limit is 500,000 Rand. You've got a little bit of time to keep pushing until you get to that limit, right? And also, if you are a working person, it makes sense for you to get yourself maybe a retirement annuity or a different type of retirement investment type of fund that can pay out when you are now retired. Remember that the moment you get retired, your money or your income creating opportunities might become limited. So what you did in your younger ages or your younger years is going to really show when you are retiring. So again, it's very, very important, guys, that we focus on the things that we are going to be investing in the different stages of our life. We understand what we're investing in. And last but not least, it's important to ask the question, or to ask yourself the question, what do I want my money to do? Or this thing that I'm investing in, what do I want it to do? Versus I have so much money and I'd like to invest in this thing. Mwah!